Hello, this is Cristi. In this video, I want to show you how you can use animation in Descript Storyboard. Animation is fairly new in Descript and it's a little underdeveloped, but I'm hoping it's going to be developed more in the future. But you can still do some basic animation with Descript. In addition to the zooming in and out and panning and all that stuff, you also have a custom animation that you can use to create any type of animation you want. Move objects from A to B in a straight line. So this is what I will show you today. And as an example, I will show you how you can animate a lower third on a video. This is a webinar that I have run recently about how to create social media clips with Descript. And I want to show you how I can add my name at the bottom of the screen, coming into the screen animation, and then going out again. And we will use my logo for that, as well as my name and stuff like that. So let's get to it. So you have the video here. It has to be a video composition, of course. Animation, you do it in Descript in the timeline because that's where you can see where the beginning and the end of the animation happens. You can control the keyframes, and animation in Descript behaves a lot like other applications where you have keyframes, basically the state of an object in one time and then later it is in another position or size or whatever, and then Descript will interpolate, it will create the motion between these two keyframes. That's how animation works. So I'm going to reveal my timeline. If you don't have it visible, go to the bottom left of the screen, show timeline, and I am going to make it larger just so you can see what I have here. So in my video right now, I don't have any other elements except for the video itself. So you can see my video on the screen there on the canvas, and at the bottom there is the script track, which has the transcription and the audio. That's all I have. So I would like to have a lower thirds animation with my logo and my name showing at the bottom left of the screen, coming in from the left side, so from outside the screen, and sliding in and then staying there for a while and then sliding out again. So this should be pretty straightforward, and we will actually use two animations on the same object because you can do that in Descript. So before I do that, I would like to identify the portion of the script or the video where I want my animation to start, and I will create a scene there. It's easier to use scenes for animation because you can control where the particular clip that you want to animate starts and stops. So I advise you to do animation with scenes and just put your objects inside of a scene and stay with them there and then animate them inside of that scene. You can of course expand the scene if you want to and extend the duration of those clips. So let's have a look. This is the very beginning where I say, welcome, my name is Cristi, and so on. So that's where I want my lower thirds to show up, right at the beginning. I'm going to say that probably it's going to stay on the screen for about 10 seconds altogether, including the animation coming in and going out. So I may actually play it until the second paragraph is ending. So right there, I've highlighted that portion. So I want to create a scene that stops here. So I'm going to go in here at the end of this paragraph and press / on my keyboard. You can also press / on the timeline down there. And look, I have just created a scene in here. If I zoom out with Command and mouse wheel, Control mouse wheel on Windows will zoom you in and out on the timeline. You can see this gray area. This is my first scene. And then I have another scene, number 2. And you also see the thumbnails on the sidebar there that show you the scenes. So now this is where I will have my animation happening. So the animation is going to be my logo sliding in from the left. Let's bring that in. I have it in my media bin already. So go to the media bin at the top and there's my logo in here. It is a transparent PNG, which makes it very nice and easy to put it on top of other things. So if you want to animate some elements or if you want to bring in some elements for your social media clips like logos and things like that, and you want them to be see-through, they need to be PNGs with an alpha channel. So PNG with transparency. So I'm going to just grab this logo and drag it down there into this scene, scene number 1. And as you can see, I'm going to close the media bin now. As you can see, Descript will just make it, place it on the timeline in there. Usually it should have put it on the entire scene, but it doesn't. It just puts it here. By the way, if I delete it and instead of dragging it on the timeline, I move this media bin out of the way, it docks itself on the left. I will move it out of the way and I will grab the logo and instead I will place it on the screen here. And there you go. Now, if I close this, you see now my logo, the clip, the duration of the clip spans the entire first scene. Before I start animating it and doing other things with this, I want to size it to the place that I need it to be. So first of all, I'm going to drag the corners of this logo and make it smaller because I don't need it to be that big. I think that's a good size. And my principle in animation is that I need to first put the object in the place where it's going to stay on the screen, not the place that I start with. That's a good way to approach it because then you place it on the screen, you have full control of where it ends up when it's sitting there, for you to look at it. And then I take care of the other parts where it's going out and coming back in. So I'm going to move the logo right here. This is where I want my logo to be when it's on the screen. So you can see now that the entire clip is highlighted. What I want to do is also go to the beginning and decide where do I want this to come in. That's where I will add my animation. So now you can see I want to give myself like 3 or 4 seconds to say hello and so on like that. And this is where I want to start bringing that logo in, about the 4-second mark. Here's how you add animation in Descript. Select the clip you want to add the animation to. And on the sidebar, on the right side, you should see animation. There is a section there, animation. And if you don't see the sidebar, by the way, a recent version of Descript allows you to close it and open it again using this little thing there at the top. Click on this animation and then you have this thing here, plus. This plus means add an animation. And the animation will be added to what? To the selected clip. And to make sure that you know where you're adding it to, look at the top and it tells you right here, Club logo 1 PNG. That is the clip that is selected. That is the clip that is going to have the animation added to it. Let's click to add plus. And Descript is asking what type of animation do you want. Normally, if you're adding an animation to let's say a recording of your screen, you may want to do a zoom and pan, zoom in. There is no zoom out. This is a common request, but I don't want any of these. What I want to do is I use a custom animation because I don't want the animation to be built from, by Descript. I don't want a pre-built animation or motion. I want to build my own motion. Click custom then. That's what I want. Click custom. And if you look at the bottom left, you will see now that on the timeline, I have 2 little frames on my clip. Those are the keyframes, right? That's the beginning of the animation. That is the end of the animation. And the beginning of the animation was added where my playhead was. You see this little line here? This is my playhead, and the animation was added in that place. So what I want to do is I want to grab this animation keyframe and move it left a little bit. So it's going to start animating around this here, 3.5 second mark. And then I want to move the second keyframe to about the 5.5 second mark. So that may be a long animation, but we can shorten it after. So you see these 2 keyframes control the position of that logo on the screen. So the second keyframe is where my logo will end up, which is great because that's where I placed it. I don't need to mess with that. I don't need to change it. So I need to click on the first keyframe, this one, and I need to move the object outside of the screen because I want it to start off screen. So the way to do that is you can, click on the keyframe and then grab your object and move it out. But you see how Descript kind of jumps around and, makes you kind of snap to things and so on. So you may not actually end up moving it in a straight line, which is what I did here. So what I prefer to do is 2 things. You can click on the object and then use the arrow keys, and you can see the object moving on the left. So you can use the arrow keys to slide the object on a straight line until it goes out of the screen like this. And if you hold down the shift key and you press the arrows, it will go faster. So here we go. I am selecting the first keyframe and moving this object outside of the screen until it's not visible anymore. Now let me play. Let's see, is this moving in now? Play. Session today. I hope to cover everything I planned about There you go. It took about 2 seconds, so the animation might be a little slow. So that means if I need the animation to be faster, all I need to do is just grab these keyframes and push them closer together. So I'm going to grab the second keyframe and push it close to about half the distance that it was before. So now if I play again from around here, you're going to see the animation move faster. This session today, I hope to cover. There is my logo coming in. Now let's take care of bringing the logo out. So that is happening at the end of the clip right here, about the 16-second mark. Again, these things you can change them later. You can slide them back and forth. Click on the clip again, and you can notice that the animation has closed. It's still there, and you can actually see this little shade here that shows you that you have an animation there. It might be very hard to see, but it doesn't matter because I want to add another animation in here. And again, I have to go to this sidebar. You see where animation 1 is. That's my first animation. And I need to click plus again to add another animation. Click plus, and again I will choose a custom animation. And this time Descript just puts it at the very end. I believe a default is 5 seconds, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to move this first keyframe back a little bit and move the second keyframe closer to it. And you guessed it, I now need to modify the second keyframe because that is the point where I want my logo to end up outside of the screen. I don't need to modify the first keyframe because that's where the animation starts. That's where it's, the logo is still on the screen. So I will click on the second keyframe and then click on my object, and again shift and arrow keys to move it outside of screen like this. There you go. I'm done with my animation. I'm going to place my playhead before and see if the animation actually works correctly. CapCut, you can use other online tools that even have AI. There it is. It's going out of the screen. That was easy, right? So that's my logo coming in. How about animating another object? And I'm going to do this faster now. I want to bring my name also in the view with my logo. Assume that this logo in here isn't on the screen, so we're not being redundant. So I'm going to show my logo there and my name. So very easy. I'm going to stay in this scene. I can maybe click away. So I've deselected this. I can deselect that clip, and you see that both animations get collapsed at the top. So now I'm going to add my name. Okay, so I'm going to the T icon. Just make sure you place yourself in the same scene because I want to stay in there. And I'm going to go to the T icon and press subtitle. I'm going to add my name like this. It's a little large. It's not a problem. I can customize the size of the font from here. And also I can maybe align it to the left. That's your choice what you do. Maybe make it all caps and even smaller like this. All right, let's assume that's fine. Again, before I add any animations, I need to move it in place. So as you can see again, because I added this object to my scene, it just makes the title span the entire scene. So I don't need to do anything to change its duration or anything like that. So I'm going to click away and click on it again and move it down in the position I want it to be in the final stage, So I'm also going to make the text element not so tall. So it's going to kind of match whatever the logo is doing. And yeah, just make sure that it aligns nicely visually like that. Here we go. So that's my name right there. I want to animate that. Before I animate it though, I'm going to turn it yellow. So I'm going to go to Fill and use the color picker. And I will use one of these colors from my logo, maybe this orange. Here we go. I know it's not very visible, but we will fix that in a moment. And before I animate the text, what I want to do is also I want to put a background behind it. I know you can actually turn on a background for the text like this, but it just stays with the text. So I like to not use that, and I like to put my own rectangular background behind it. So there you go, a third element to animate. So click again on the top where it says Shapes and use a rectangle. Click on that. And let's keep it white, and I will move it in position. Put it in the bottom left corner, make it not so tall, and move it to the right side. Now I'm covering everything. And by the way, I can right click on it and say Layer Order bring to front, bring forward, send backward, or send to back. I will use this one, send backward. Shift and left bracket once and press again shift left bracket twice. That's when I see now both of them. And you know what? I would like my name to be red, in fact. So I'm going to click on my name and go to the picker and pick that color from my logo. There you go. That's my name color right there. So maybe it needs to be higher a little too. Yeah, not the best placement, but anyway, you get it. So now I have everything in place. It all looks good. I just, I can use the arrow keys to just slide some things around. And this is the final, this is like the main stage, the main state of my lower thirds. Now I need to bring them in, right? So I'm already bringing the logo in around this portion. So if I go here, you see the logo is coming in, but everything else is already there. So I would like to maybe animate those as well. Let's try to animate something else. Along with the logo, I would like to bring the rectangle in as well. So I'm going to go to the beginning of that logo animation, select the rectangle clip down there. If you need more room, by the way, you can pull this up like that to make it taller. And I will go to the animation. Now you see I'm adding an animation to the rectangle and click plus and custom again. So now I've added an animation to my rectangle clip, pull that keyframe back and pull the second keyframe back because I want the animation for the rectangle to be exactly the same duration as the animation for the logo. So go to the first keyframe, the starting point of the animation, and click on my rectangle and use the arrow keys to shift it left until it goes out of the screen. This is an easy way to slide things around. So let's see now. Play this session today. I hope to, here we go. Now it's coming in. So again, I'm clicking on the object, click animation. It keeps coming out of that context. Click on the second keyframe here and make sure the object is in place. Now there is a little bug here where although I have placed the object in the screen on the second keyframe, it keeps going for a while too. So maybe I want to go in that keyframe and slide the object back left. It looks good here, but if I play, it goes to the right. Overshoot that a little bit. Here we go. Now it's staying. Now it stays in place. Okay, now the third object I want to animate is my name. But I want my name not to slide or come in from anywhere. I want it to just fade in. Now, you could obviously fade it in with a transition, but I want to see if I can animate the opacity of the object, okay? So again, I'm going to click my title, and I want it to fade in around here. When the animation has finished, the sliding of the rectangle has finished, the logo has stopped moving, this is when I want to fade my name in. So if it doesn't work with the animation, we will just use a fade in, but I will insist in doing the animation here. So go again to the right side. My text is selected and I will add an animation to my text. Click on it and I will use custom. You notice that text doesn't have like a pan and zoom and all those things. You can do just custom, right? So let's hope it works. And it's going to start off here. And the first keyframe was selected. And in the first keyframe, I want my text to be invisible. So I will go to click on the text and go to the top and turn opacity to 0 like this all the way down. I don't see it now. And now let's click on the second keyframe and now click on the object and go to the top and opacity 100, which it was before. So now I want to move these playhead, these keyframes, I want to move them closer to each other because I don't want the fading in to take that long. So I think I'm done. Let's see if it works. Start here. Session today. I hope to cover everything I planned about, and there you go. You see the text fading in. Now to bring everything out. Okay, I'm done with these, and at the very end here, when the logo starts going out, I will fade the text out before that happens. So click on the text again, around here, and scroll down, click plus to add another animation to the text, plus, custom, and this time I will modify the second keyframe. I will drag it into place. And I will actually move them before the logo starts moving. Here we go. And right here, click on the text and opacity 0. Here we go. Let's hope it works. And here I can see it. after the animation, I don't see it. So if I play this, CapCut, you can use other online. So you see the text fading out and then the animation starts. And finally, I will click on my rectangle object and again, add another animation to it, custom. And this time I will move it out. I will pull this second keyframe there and click on the rectangle. And I will use my arrow keys to go and slide it all out of the screen. And you could slide it into the other direction if you like to. It's not, required. And, be creative as much as the animation allows you to do that. And you can see here, it's going out of the screen right now. I have no idea why it's slowing down, but anyway, I'm pressing it. It's gone. Here we go. So everything's out of the screen now. So this is my kind of my workflow with lower thirds or animations. I like to place things on the object on the screen first, where I want them to be in their nice finished position. And then I deal with the beginning and the end, bringing it in and taking it out of the screen. So now let's play the ending here. CapCut, you can use other online tools that even have AI and select the clips. There we go. So now comes the challenge. Animation is done. It's kind of working. Okay, I'm going to just make sure that this clip stays inside of that scene. So you see everything is in the same scene right here. So right now, if I want to do something like, I don't want to have to build this animation all over again. I don't want to create it from scratch later in my project if I want to use it again, right? So let's see if it works to actually replicate this animation in another place. You could copy the clips and so on, but I'm going to try and copy the scene. We need to go to the top left where the scene is, the scene thumbnail, right click on it and copy layout. Let's see this. Let's see if this works. And then I will go, let's suppose that I want to put this at the end of my video right there, scene number 4. I want to bring this animation back in here and show my name again before I finish my video. So scene number 4, I will scroll down, right click on it and say paste layout. Let's see if the animations come in. There they are. Okay, so I see some animations there. Of course, scene number 4 is longer than scene 1. So as soon as if I scroll this up, you see these little shady segments. These are my animations. And after those segments, the scene goes on for quite a while. So I don't care about these because these are already out of the screen. But let's see if the animations are still playing fine. And by the way, this will be available in the Media Makers Club. You will also have access to it. The address is on the screen right now. So there you have it. I have now created a scene with 3 clips, logo, name, and a background, and the animation on them. And technically, I can now use this as a template. On future projects, if I want to add this animation again and put my lower thirds and my name on it, I don't want to have to build it all over again. So finally, let's turn this into a template. I will go to this scene, number 4, and you can right click on it and say save to template. You can also adjust that from here. You can access this from here, the 3 dots, save to template. And it's going to save the current scene to a template that you can apply to future projects. Okay, save to template, and it's asking me what template. I'm going to create a new one, and it's creating a new template projects. That's how Descript works with template. They're actually a different type of project. They're a template project. So this is taking a while because it's actually copying all the video and stuff into it. So this is my template from that scene with the animation on it. You can see the animation is still playing here, and you can see my video. But when I apply this template to another project, my video is not going to be there. So before I save this template, I want to make sure that I have 16:9 landscape. I don't know why it came up with that layout, but anyway. So there's my animation down there, all the 3 elements in it in this particular scene. I'm going to rename this and call it Media Makers Lower Thirds, LT. Enter. And that is my template project. Before I can use this though, I have to publish the template project to my drive. So go to the top right where it says publish template, click on it. It shows me a thumbnail here as a preview. I can give it a name. Let's call it MMCLT, lower thirds, and publish template. You can see it's private, which means I am the only one who's able to access this and use it. You can also make it available with the people who have access to your drive. If you have collaborators, you've added to your Descript drive, you can give this and publish it with the drive so they have access to it as well, so they can use this template. Or I can even share it publicly if I want to share a link with someone else. Maybe if you're creating templates and you're selling them, that is how you want to publish that, because people need to be able to click that link, import that template into their own drive, their own projects. So, okay, I'm going to keep it private. It's just for me. Click Publish Template, and that takes a few seconds. And now Descript is going to assemble this template and make it available for me in other projects. And let me show you how you add it to another project, and I'm done. So go back. I'm going to click this project and close it, this template project. This is an entire video, so I'm going to switch compositions. I'm going to go to the very end of this composition, which has the closing remarks on their own. I don't have anything on the timeline here. I don't have my animation. I don't have anything. So I want to apply that template in here and boom, come up with my lower thirds automatically. Let's try that. Go to the top where the 5 icons are. The last one is templates. Click on templates and go to private, because that's where I have my template saved, in my private area. So if I scroll somewhere, I should be able to see it right here. This is my template. The thumbnail is still being updated. It takes a while to do that, but the template is right there. If I click on it, you can see the MMCLT template that I created. And look at this. If I click on it, I'm not going to wait for the thumbnail though. Click on this. And look, Descript is applying that template to my video. All right, so I'm going to now see if this works. So you see if it's preserved all the animation, all the placement in the right place, and everything works fine. The video has not been replaced. Let's play this. Cover everything. And by the way, this will be available in the Media Makers Club if you're a member. And let's go to the end of it. Today, you will also have access to it. The address is on the screen right now, mediamakers.com. There you go. That is how you create animations in Descript Storyboard. That is how you move elements on the screen. That is how you use keyframes. And that is how you create that into a template that you can reuse like that. So from experience, I found that animations don't behave so nicely when they span different scenes. So if you have an animation that goes in different scenes, because Descript controls the layout of objects within every scene separately, it might confuse the animation. So try it at your own risk. Another thing that I need to mention is animations in Descript, as you've seen, they're a little buggy, don't give you perfect control of the placement. You have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit until you get it to respect the geometry of the objects and their location. So I'm hoping this is going to be something that Descript will develop more. And also there is no easing. So you can't have natural movement easing like in other applications where the object speeds up and slows down during the motion. So the motion is always constant speed, at least for the moment. I hope this video was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And if you would like to learn more about Descript, check out in the link description below. I have a membership where you can subscribe for a fixed price every month, and you have access to all of my courses, including a massive Descript course, 8 hours of content, and I'm adding more to it, and also several mini courses on how to create social media clips, how to use scenes and templates and all those little tricks in Descript, plus updates on Descript. Whenever they release a new version, I put out a video showing you what's new, what's changed, where has stuff moved, all those things that maybe confuse you when they update things. And that happens a lot, by the way. And in my membership, you also have access to Camtasia courses and mini courses if you are using Camtasia or if you're an instructional designer. And you also get discounts for one-on-one coaching sessions. So plenty of reasons to sign up. Make sure you click the link in the description, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next one.